Hello, and welcome to Fire Breathing Kittens, a tabletop role-playing game podcast. Today, we're playing a new game called Foretold, a tarot RPG. If you enjoy this game, it's by Lynn Rojas, and Rojas is spelled Roxas, and you can find it on Drive-Thru RPG, and that's through THRU. This podcast has multiple mini episodes. Most of them are self-contained, but they all fit into the wider macro plot. So you can listen to whichever ones you want, or you can skip whichever ones you want. Hopefully you're not going to skip this one, because I think this is going to be a pretty good game. So let's jump right into it and introduce who we're playing with today. First off, let's say hi to Errol.
Hello. Errol Corvidbow is my name. I have a burn scar on the right side of my face, as well as an eye patch over my right eye. I wear a puffy shirt with some lace at the cuffs. I have a rapier on my hip and a new pair of well-shined boots. Currently, at the moment, I have a duck, and I'm attempting to teach it to roll over and play dead.
That's awesome. And then next, we're playing with Ava.
Howdy, y'all. The name's Avarice H, but you can call me Ava. And I'm what you might call a Cambion, so part devil, part elf. And you can see that by her purple skin, red eyes, golden devil's horns that she usually wears covered with a hat, and a big pair of red and black kind of wings that she has. She usually wears a kind of goth cowboy outfit, cowgirl outfit with leather armor and boots and stuff. And she's got two dragons named Penny and Malum. And yeah, that's Avarice. Oh yeah, she also has white hair, but she dyes that black usually. So now it's like kind of in between stage. It's black with white streaks, kind of. Yeah.
Very nice, very stylish. And then last but not least, we're going to meet Vincent.
Vincent is an average elven man wearing a clean white top hat with a golden peacock feather sticking out of it. His coat is segmented into various shapes like a stained glass window with many different colors scattered about. His hair is a soft gradient of black to white at the tips. And right now he is making the largest house of cards on the table that you have ever seen. He's even climbing up on top of the table, kind of trying not to knock it over, and that's me.
Knock, knock, knock. There is a knock at the door of the Fire Breathing Kittens Guild Hall where all three of you are hanging out. And the door slowly opens, and there's a delivery person outside. Excuse me, delivery for Errol Corvidbow?
I will run over quickly. Yes, Errol Corvidbow at your service. How can I help you?
Oh, a package for you. Just sign here, please.
I will sign for the package and receive it. What does it look like?
So it is rather hefty. It's definitely wooden, wrapped in wrapping paper for some reason. And there is a simple letter that just says Errol Corvidbow attached to the top of it.
Before inspecting the contents, I would open the letter and read what it says.
Okay. It says, Dear Fire-Breathing Kittens, the vendors of the Banilla Food and Beverage Convention are in grave danger. The Consent Creamery Information Arm will send at least 2 spies to the conference to steal trade secrets. Their targets, Hestia's Bestia's famous sour cream and onion flavoring inventor, Alana Divino, and the Moon Dollar Engineers, Tipsy and Tapsy Keg Tinker. Unfortunately, these are the only 2 targets that I know of, but there are almost certainly more spies in attendance. All the vendors are in danger. You must protect them and their hard-earned intellectual property. Signed, KFG. And let me know if you need any of that repeated.
Yes, can you repeat the Alana Divino, the names? There was Alana Divino and then Tipsy and Topsy.
Yes. So Alana Divino, which is the Hestia's Bestia's sour cream and onion flavoring inventor, and Tipsy and Tapsy Keg Tinker. So that is like keg as in like a beer keg, and tinker. who are Moon Dollar engineers. And you would know that Moon Dollar is a famous coffee place within Nicomoy.
Moon Dollar Engineers. I don't quite know what to make of this. I will look around me. I'm guessing I would see Vincent and Ava in the guild hall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
so Ava is actually, like, her dragons are very interested in that house of cards. And which one would be the most interested? I would say Malum, the stained glass one, is like really wants the card that you're trying to put on to the top of it.
Oh, no,
Vincent.
no. Let go. Stop it. No, And he falls over and the whole tower of cards comes crumbling down. He just lets go of the card and lets the dragon take it at that point.
And yep, Malum does, and he's just like, he just like gives you like a little kind of grateful look, just like flutters his wings at you, and then just flies back to Ava triumphantly.
Well, I hope you enjoy the card. Oh man.
I will saunter over to Ava and Vincent, and I will say, excuse me, I hate to interrupt your extracurricular activities. Vincent, I know we've met before. Ava, I'm Errol Corvidbow. I believe I just received a package with a very interesting message. I would like for you guys to help me investigate, if you would.
What's the message and what's in it for us exactly? Oh yeah, also Vince, I'm terribly sorry about that. Malum, he can be a lot.
Oh no, there was no harm done. I mean, it just gives me more to do later. Cleaning up, that is. I mean, I'm not gonna do this right now. Hops down from the table and kind of walks. So, we're doing something?
I will pass Ava the card and allow her to read it.
Yep.
Okay, so does this...
So you'll see the same thing. Just mysterious person saying that there are spies infiltrating the Banilla Food and Beverage Convention. And you'll see that convention is spelled with a K instead of a C.
But is it Banilla or Vanilla?
Banilla, Banilla. Very close though.
Now, is this convention something that I've heard about before?
Yeah, actually, yes, you would have heard about it. So your mentor, Professor Edamir So, is in the College of Agriculture, and he goes to this convention yearly. It only started about 5 years ago, but he always goes and he's very excited, and he mentioned that he would be there. You would know that this is a convention held to the northern coast in the country or region of Jezik, and that this is more of like an exposition for a bunch of food and beverage vendors to show off new inventions or advertise or other things. Your mentor was very excited to go.
She'll kind of like look at it and think and say, well, I mean, someone that I know will be going there, and perhaps they could use a little extra protection, and I'm sure they'll make it worth my while. And yeah, I mean, perhaps we can make some kind of deal with someone there.
Oracle, the Consent Creamery are the ones who sent the spies. Is that what it said?
Yes, it is. So the Consent Creamery Information Arm.
And they are the threat in this situation, or from what this message says.
Yes, based on the message.
Ava, are you familiar with these initials KFG? Or you as well, Vincent?
No, I don't think it doesn't ring a bell for me. Now, this looks like a mystery. Interesting.
Can't think of anything on my end either.
Why would Consent Creamery want to threaten other food vendors? Maybe they want to monopolize or something?
Well,
Entirely possible.
I guess we travel to this convention and see what we can gather there, what information we can learn.
Yeah, not sure exactly what we can do over here.
So, Errol, there was also a package that came with the letter.
That's right. I also received this package. Should we open it?
Yeah, why not?
I'll rip off.
What harm can come from opening packages that you don't know are in? And then she kind of just like shakes her head bitterly, and you can see like there's a bit of like shadow around her in like ways that if you've ever seen her before, it wasn't. Yeah, something's changed about her since last time. Just kind of like.
I will.
No smile this time.
I will tentatively remove the wrapping paper and see what's inside.
So it tears away, and it is indeed a wooden box, and there is no latch. You can open it up easily. And inside, you find nestled 3 potions. It looks like, so they're in fist-sized teardrop bottles, and they're clear bottles, and you can see the liquid is royal blue and lightly fizzy. There is a note next to the bottles, and you can see there are train tickets, convention passes, and a note for 15,000 gold pieces.
Oh.
It sounds like an adventure. I'm excited.
I didn't get my cosplay ready.
Well, now if we were to split those 15,000 gold pieces between the 3 of us, yeah, I think that would be good. I'm in.
Works for me.
All right. I say we. Real quick, Ava. I have to ask. Are your dragons dangerous? You see, Errol looks warily at them. He has a burn scar on the right side of his face. He's had a bad experience with dragons in the past.
Oh no.
She sees that and she kind of like smiles and she's like, depends. If you get on my bad side, they certainly can be. This one might be small, but don't underestimate him. She points to Mellum, and this one, well, she has her way. She has her ways. She kind of like strokes Penny on the back of her head and winks.
I will certainly do my best to avoid your bad side.
Yeah, but usually, they're fine. When they're on our side.
All right.
And when you're not stacking up cards either.
Yeah, you should probably hide anything shiny you got, because this one will go for him. She points to Mellum.
Noted. He takes off his hat and like changes the color of his feather.
Oh, hold on a second. I hear something. I look down. Drake, my pet duck, is quacking. What's that, Drake? Oh, you're afraid of the dragons? I'll protect you, buddy. Errol puts him on his shoulder.
Aw.
He cuts a vicious figure. Okay.
Right.
So you guys are headed to the train station?
Yeah, I say we go forth to this train station, you guys.
All right.
Okay. One train ride later, you are in the city of Banilla within the region of Jezek. I will say, on the train, you will have had a chance to read the note that was next to the potions. It is written on blue paper, and it's in very curly classic script. And it says, "Hello, to whoever drinks this, have fun, but be careful. This potion is concentrated fate. Once you drink this, you can alter the weaves of time, but only for 3 hours or so. Use wisely."
Does it say how long it lasts?
3 hours?
3 hours.
About. They don't seem like super precise about it.
Vincent kind of reaches in and pulls it out, kind of shakes it a little bit. Ooh, fizzy. I wonder what it tastes like.
I mean, if you want to alter fate right now, then, and you believe what this note here says, then go for it.
Well, you never know if you will be needing it later, so I'm gonna wait until we touch down.
Fair enough. It's not very long. The train is fast. And you step off into Banilla. It's very easy to find the convention center. It's taller and wider than any other building in this city. And as you approach, you can see the very front wall is not brick or wood or stone. It's a massive wall of glass windows rising tens of feet into the air, giving you the impression of openness and grandeur, even though it's a closed construct. There are crowds mingling around the front entrance, patiently waiting to gain entry. But, from your passes, you can enter the front right away if you would like.
And this is just the convention center itself?
Yes.
All right. Do we take these potions now, or do we hold on to them longer?
Vincent downs his.
I will wait patiently and see what happens to Vincent.
Yeah, me too.
Are you feeling okay?
It tastes blueberry. Fizzy.
There's a little bit of a shimmer that appears around Vincent just for a split second before you feel a very slight sensation of pressure, almost like a sonic boom, but like the light version, rush past you. Otherwise, Vincent looks fine.
Well, now.
Well,
That's a mighty interesting effect.
cheers, Ava.
Sure, let's do it now. Might as well.
Clink bottles.
Yep. Then down it.
Glug, glug.
Perfect. Same thing happens. A little bit of a shimmer and then a pulse that radiates from both of you. And that's it, really. You guys don't feel any different or look any different, but something definitely happened.
Well, Vincent's gonna make himself look different real quick. I'm sorry, guys. There might be a bounty still on my head here. I'm not too terribly sure, so I'm going to go in incognito if that's all right with you. He waves his hand in front of his face, and he becomes a gnome wearing a giant wizard's hat and just slightly portly with a big nose, too.
That's an interesting ability you got there.
Why, thank you. I really appreciate receiving compliments every once in a while for my acting abilities.
Awesome. So now that you've drunk the potions, we're going to basically activate the mechanics of Foretold. In this game, you knowingly alter fate. And so every time you want to do that, this is usually an action that may end in failure or a huge aspect of the game shifting. So something you would normally roll for in Dungeons and Dragons could be something that you make a declaration for. And a declaration is basically like you as the player say, I'm making a declaration. I'm pulling from the limited tarot deck that we've doled out beforehand. And I want this action to happen. You'll draw the card, and then I, as the GM or Fate Weaver, am going to interpret what that action is or the consequences of it, which will then affect the game state. And so, very simple mechanics, but it can get crazy pretty fast. So from this point forward, feel free to make a declaration whenever you'd like. You can do 15 declarations, which is the number of tarot cards you guys were dealt.
All right. Along the same vein as Vincent, I'm not going to alter my appearance, but Ava, I often use a alter ego. I might go by the name Thomas Underhill. So if you hear me say that, don't be alarmed. That's just my alter ego.
Thomas Underhill. All right, noted. Well, I mean, I'll have to see if this potion actually does anything, but if it does, then I'll go by Avarice Halavy. Not just Avarice H. She kind of just like smiles and like you see like some like golden markings appear on her face for a second. Her eyes glow a bit brighter red and then they fade.
Excellent. Well, how about we walk around through this convention and maybe see if there's anything interesting going on. Keep our eyes out for any suspicious characters.
That sounds like a plan.
All right. So you guys walk up to the massive wall of windows and you can see that there are clear glass doors. After looking at your passes, the bouncer waves you right through and you are now in the foyer. This area is the front room and you can see on the far wall there is a door that is set into another wall of glass windows. And beyond that wall looks like it's like a sideways egg that is also made of glass. You get the feeling they really like glass here. But the foyer itself wraps around that, and you can see that it goes to other parts of the building that are beyond that egg shape and surrounding that. There is rose pink tile along the floor with gold trim and a pastel blue runner that runs all along the foyer. And there are a couple of kiosks for snacks and beverages. And you see a big kiosk that has the sign information and a map alongside it.
Vincent, Ava, do you think we should go directly to either the Hestia's Bestia's booth or the Moondollar Engineers to see if they've seen any suspicious characters, or to see if there's anybody drawn to those particular booths?
Yeah. I mean, why not?
Does sound like a good idea.
I mean, another thing we can do is Penny here is really good at flying around and gathering information and spotting things. So we could send her to look at one of them and then go to the other one ourselves. That way we can stick together, but then still have eyes on the other one.
I like that idea. That sounds like it would work. So, do we want to go to the Hestia's Bestias or to the Moondollar?
Let's go Hestia's Bestias, because I've seen that that sour cream powdered thing that they were talking about. I've seen that somewhere.
Okay.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting.
All right. In that case, we will go to the information booth, or I will go to the information booth and see if I can find Hestia's Bestia's booth on the map.
Okay. So when you approach the booth, you can actually see that there is a person sitting there. It's a half giant with green and gold dyed hair. And they're just kind of lounging. And when you approach, they give a wave and say, "Hi, welcome to the Banilla Food and Beverage Convention. I can help you. My name is Kara."
Hi, Kara. I am Thomas Underhill. I am here on behalf of Hestia's Bestias. I was looking for our booth.
Let me see. And she pulls out this enormous binder just full of tabs. And she fingers through and is about in the middle of it and flips it open with a thud. And she says, all right. It looks like the Hestia's Bestia's convention booth is in the exhibit hall, which is right over there. And she points towards the egg-shaped room.
Okay, guys. I'll back up a little bit and I'll say, it looks like it's in the egg-shaped room.
Easy to spot.
I actually have a question for the information person. I'm gonna lean forward toward this information person and say, hello there. I had a question about company. I don't know if they're gonna send vendors here, if they did, but just wondering. Is oh boy, how do I phrase this? I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this right now. It's oh yeah, is Consent Creamery sending up any vendors here? You know anything about them?
Oh, yes. Consent Creamery is one of our biggest sponsors. They don't actually have a booth or a speaker or anything like that, but they're sponsoring pretty much the whole event. They do have a therapy dog session going on in the garden today, though.
Therapy dog session?
I like dogs.
Yeah, that could be interesting to check out.
Yes, we have multiple areas of the convention. We have the garden where the therapy dog session is. We have the exhibit hall where all the booths are. And then we have the speakers room where you have speakers speaking. And then you have the poster hall and the tasting room. And then, of course, the area for employees or backstage people. And if you need me to repeat any of those locations, I can.
So it was the, just to recap, it was the garden center, the egg-shaped room, and the booths?
Yeah, so the garden center is where the therapy dogs are. Mm-hmm. The booths are in the exhibition hall, which is the egg-shaped room. And then there's a poster hall, which is separate, a tasting room, and a speaker's room, and then the backstage / employees only area.
All right, well, that's good to know.
I hope you enjoy your day.
Thank you.
Well, I do have a bit of an idea, because if they're trying to sabotage or try to kidnap or harm or whatever they had planned, wouldn't you think that they would do some form of setting up in the employees only area?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And I'll wait to say this until we've like gotten out of earshot of the information desk person or anyone else there. So is this Vincent? Is this change in, like, I say this very quietly, of course. Is this change in appearance thing something he can just do whenever, or is it just limited amount of uses?
Well, it is something I can do whenever. I've been practicing really hard at this. And you see that he's a little bit nervous when you ask.
Okay, well, perhaps you could disguise yourself as one of the employees or something.
I like the idea of infiltrating.
Yeah.
It is a splendid idea.
I wonder if we could score any uniforms from someone.
Perhaps we can. Okay, so what is the closest thing to us right now? Are we closer to the the booths or to the...
Yep.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the exhibition hall is the closest to you.
Exhibition hall.
You don't see any of the other rooms. They're presumably, if you keep walking in around the egg-shaped rooms through the foyer walkway, you'd get to the other rooms, but the egg-shaped exhibit hall is the most immediate one.
Do the employees, like the person at the information booth, do they have a specific uniform, or are they all dressed different with badges?
They are all dressed different, but they have bright green badges, whereas nobody else seems to have bright green badges.
So we need to get some badges. If I go and peek over back at the information desk, do I see any badges behind that area?
Nope, none over there.
So it looks like if we want to get into the employee area, we might need some employee badges. I wonder if we could convince somebody to give us some, but who would we go to for that?
Good question. And if not, perhaps we can find a stash or something. Maybe that's what we can have Penny do. Look for a stash of bright green things. Seems easy enough.
Well, I can also make it so that it's part of my uniform, as I can change my clothes at will as well. And I sort of make it change so that my current outfit has a bright green badge on it.
Okay, it's done.
Well, perhaps with your costume, you can sneak in and get us 2 other badges.
But where would we go to get more badges? Would it be at the front desk, the employees only?
I'm guessing employees only. They wouldn't keep them out where anybody could get to them, I would imagine.
Here, yeah, I can send Penny in with you, and then she can look around, and you can look around.
Oh, that sounds like a plan, then.
So do we want to head there first?
Yes, sir.
All right, I guess we'll head that direction. I'll follow this map.
Okay. You can see that the employee area is at the very back of the convention center, right close to the garden. As the Fate Weaver, I will say, I'm not going to ask you to make declarations. It's up to you guys to do that. So if you ever want to, feel free. You guys are running this game.
Yeah. I'm just not quite sure, what to make a declaration for just yet.
That's fair.
I don't know for sure, Vincent, but you might want to make one to attempt to go and convince people that you are an employee. I mean, you look like one with the badge, but you might need to make one in an attempt to convince people that you are one. Does that make any sense?
All right.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys make it all the way back to the employees only area, and you can see that there is someone standing there holding a clipboard, and it looks like there are names on that clipboard.
Perhaps you could send Penny to look at that clipboard.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, let's do that. So she's so we should probably hang back for a bit just to not be suspicious.
Oh,
right?
I have an idea. how about I just go up and talk to them, and then you send Penny, and Penny tries to snatch the clipboard.
All right. Okay, I like that idea. That just sounds like so chaotic. And I suppose if she can't, then I've got another one who's just hiding over here. Yeah, okay.
So I would like to make a declaration for the present, and I'm going to, let's see here. I believe it says we have to choose one of our attributes for this.
Yes. And so in this game, each character has 3 attributes. What they love, what they hate, and what they want above all. Respectively known as heart, blood, and desire. So whichever one of those traits most strongly influences the action you want to take will be a consideration for how the action is resolved and what the consequences are.
Okay, so I would like to, I have a cigarette case that I have carry licorice candy in it, and I will use the attribute heart, of which I have, one of the aspects I have is friendships, and I will offer this individual a piece of licorice and be like, excuse me, my name is Thomas Underhill. Would you care for a piece of licorice? And I would like to make a declaration that I'm trying to befriend them currently in the present.
Okay.
Right, so
go ahead.
I just draw a card?
And yep, just draw a card. The orientation of the card matters. So tell me what the card you draw is and whether it's right side up or upside down.
Okay. King of Cups, and it is right side up.
Right side up. Okay. So kings represent leaders, protection, and authority. And cups are of the element water and associated with emotions. So I'm going to say this resolves as you walk up to him offering that licorice, and you present such an aura of confidence and authority that this guy just feels so honored to have you like notice him and like offer some pretty high quality licorice in his eyes. And he says, "Oh, wow. Well, thanks, man. What's up?"
What's your name, sir?
Oh, I mean, it's just Doc. My parents had a sense of humor, I guess. But yeah, just Doc.
Doc, I'm curious about getting into the security business. I was just curious about like your pay and benefits. I don't mean to pry. I know that's very personal to many people, but I was just curious like at how well you're being compensated with your current job.
Oh, I mean, yeah. So I actually do security for volunteering. So like, I wish I could help you more, but like, I mean, I do have some experience with it. I've been volunteering for this convention for like 5 years now. And he just starts talking about like how you have to be careful about people trying to like weasel their way into private areas and how you have to like really be like you have to be really attentive and make sure like no one's distracting you while you're supposed to be on the job. But you are definitely distracting him. That was a really great card to pull. You completely have his attention.
All right, and if I can, well, I don't know. That might be another declaration I would need to make.
Well, I have an idea. So, how many employees wearing the security outfit have I seen so far?
Oh, probably just a small handful. You imagine most of them are actually in the different rooms of the convention center, not so many in the hallway.
Okay. Well, if I saw at least one of them, I would like to transform into them with their badge and everything. And as Errol is having a conversation with Doc, I'm going to walk by and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, man. I forgot something inside. I'll be right back through." And I would like to make a declaration to just walk on by him.
Okay. So go ahead and before you pull your card, tell me what trait, heart, blood, or desire this is stemming from.
I would like to say that it stems from heart. I love all things beautiful, mysterious, and enchanting. And I find it very mysterious what's on the inside of the employees section of this area.
All right, go ahead and draw your card.
All right. That is a Queen of Wands.
Okay. So is that upright or upside down?
Oh, upright, sorry.
Okay. So the queen is maturity, nurturing, and wisdom. And wands is the element of fire that sparks action and inspiration. So as Doc is distracted, you are able to mimic this person really well. And as you enter in, Doc just waves you by. And you're able to enter the employees area, but you're not entirely sure what the consequences of your declaration was.
Oh, no.
Or were.
So that's how I ended up meeting Janisha Swiftheart after her concert, because I was helping with the security detail, and she happened to drop her purse outside of the venue, and I carried it back to her, and I was the hero for the rest of the day.
Oh my God, that is just so cool. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. You're so cool. I can't believe you're talking to me right now. Like what's your name, man? Like, you've got to be some famous person here, right?
Oh, I'm just, as security, we kind of faceless a lot of times. People don't pay attention to us, Like, we do all the hard work, we move all the equipment and make sure people are safe, and people just walk right by us. But my name is Thomas Underhill. It's so nice to meet you.
Oh man, that's awesome. I mean, I'm Doc. Sorry, you already know my name is Doc.
Hey, maybe we could go for a beer sometime.
Yeah, no, like my shift ends in like 3 hours. Maybe I can find you in the tasting room.
What's happening in the tasting room? Just trying snacks?
Oh yeah, like the people who have new recipes and stuff go and make them in the kitchens and then bring them out for people to taste, basically. It's kind of like a good way for people to know if their new recipes are going to be hits or not. If they don't succeed here, they're not going to succeed anywhere else. So,
speaking of which, have you seen any individuals from Consent Creamery sneaking around in places they shouldn't be? I've heard that they sometimes like to do, a recon on other companies in order to get their secrets.
Wait, really? Isn't Consent Creamery just like some vegan, cruelty-free butter company?
I believe so. I'm not sure what the plot stems from or who's behind it, but it's a rumor I heard. It could be nothing.
Oh, I wouldn't put any stock into it. I mean, what is there to steal here?
All right, Doc. Well, I will let you return to your duties. I might see you in the tasting room, hopefully, later.
Yeah. No, that'd be great. I'll be there in like 3 hours. I mean, like, you don't have to be there, but like it'd be pretty cool if we could like try a croissant or something. I don't know.
All right, I will walk back to Ava.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Ava, is there anything you'd like to do right now?
Yeah. So like while they were having this conversation, actually, I was just waiting for them to finish because I didn't want to interrupt anyone. I would actually like to make a declaration of my own to send Penny in after Vincent, because I feel like stealing the clipboard might do us more harm at this point because you've got some rapport with that guy now. So do
you want to try and do it as I was finishing up my conversation, or
like in the middle of it, like at some point, like whenever he was most distracted and facing away from the door, basically, and like as Vincent was walking in, so that like Penny was just like right behind Vincent.
Sounds good. So which trait are you using for this?
I'm using the trait blood because I hate restrictions.
Perfect.
And people bossing me around. Ooh.
Awesome.
And I got Queen of Cups upright. Okay.
So again, Queen is maturity, nurturing, and wisdom, but Cups represents waters and emotions. So, and you specifically wanted Penny to follow in?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like follow in after Vincent. Like, and I guess Penny will just use her own kind of discretion here in which way is best to do that. Either to try to like fly straight up to try to hide somewhere, or just like literally land on Vince's shoulder and looks like she's belongs there and is part of it. or to hide in Vincent's clothes. Either one of those.
Okay, sounds great. So I'm going to pull from the wisdom portion of the queen here and say that Penny flies low, pretty much like right between Vincent's legs, and then immediately goes up into the rafters of the employees only room and is so fluid and seamless that nobody sees her. Like, you almost don't see her moving.
Perfect. And yeah, I
Okay.
will also be like, when I tell, I'll also be seeing through her senses. Though, like if I do that, Ava's going to be blind and not able to sense at all, basically right now, which is what I don't want that right now. But, yeah. Okay, perfect. She's there.
Okay, so then before we go into the employees only room with Vincent and Penny, Ava and Errol, what would you guys like to do?
Well, seeing that Errol came back, I'll say, well, that was a nice bit of smooth talking that you did there. I figured that stealing a man's clipboard would have just done us more harm in the end. But don't worry, I did my portion, then I'll just wink at him.
That's all right. It looks like we got Vincent and your dragon in there, so we should hopefully get some intel when he comes back out. What should we do while he's in there?
Well, perhaps, Penny can send messages, so, I can tell him where we are. Perhaps we can be investigating those stalls that we talked about. Like the Moon Dollars one.
I believe the
other one.
garden is over here too, which is where they said the Consent Creameries was doing something.
Right, with the therapy dogs.
Would you like to
so-
check that out, or?
Fate Weaver, which one is closer?
The garden is closer.
Okay, then let's, alright, then let's do the garden in that case.
Okay, so we'll follow you guys after we go with Vincent and Penny. So, Vincent, you enter this room and it is very drab. From what you've seen of the convention center, it's very much dressed up. It's looking fancy, trying to impress. This just looks like a gym locker room. You've got stands of oh my gosh. You have stands of cubbies and lockers evenly interspersed. And you also have just like little prepping areas, for people who might have posters or demonstrations and things like that. But currently it looks like it's empty. Doesn't seem like there's anybody in here, but the room is rather big. So maybe there is someone here. You just can't see them yet.
Okay. Do I see Penny anywhere?
Ava, would Penny allow herself to be seen?
No.
Okay, then you don't.
All right.
Her fluidity and, the wisdom she has in not being seen prevents you from finding her.
All right. Then I think Vincent would just take a look around and try to see if he could find any leftover green passes for his friends.
Okay. You're wandering around. There doesn't seem to be any immediate area that has passes, but you do hear something clicking much further down in the room.
Well, that doesn't sound normal. Vincent would like to go investigate.
Okay. Are you trying to be sneaky about it?
Yes, he's going to be... He is going to be sneaky about it.
Okay. So you tiptoe through the rows of lockers, and at the very last stand of lockers, you see a small, only about 2 foot tall, Warforged in painted dark blue with very little speckles of gold. And you can see that they are slightly tapping each of the lockers in this stand.
Hello there, bud. What you doing?
The tapping stops, and the small Warforged just turns around very slowly and says, "Well, I seem to have lost something. I was just trying to determine the echolocation of it. by tapping on these lockers.
Oh, what did you lose?
I lost some plans. I'm supposed to be speaking soon, and I can't remember which locker I put them in.
Ah, well, that's unfortunate, but dang, I'm trying to figure out what I would do here. That's unfortunate. Maybe I can get some people to help you out here. Would you happen to know of a way to... how do I say this? I know a guy. I know a few guys that are really good at finding things. Do you know of a way that I can bring them here backstage without, causing too much of a ruckus?
Oh, it's fine. This is the last row of lockers that exist. I've been checking them for a good hour or so now. But I'm pretty sure it's in one of these. I'm almost certain I'm close. So don't worry about it. Thank you so much, though. That's really kind of you.
Oh, well, you're welcome. I'll leave you to it then. I'm also looking for something. So you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you later.
Have fun. And you notice that they don't start clicking. They're just watching you as you go.
And I turn around and leave back out of the room.
Okay. Ava, would Penny leave?
No, not yet. So is the entire employee area empty, or is this just part of it?
No, the entire employee area is empty except for this small warforged.
Small warforged. Well, okay. I'm gonna have Penny stay. She's gonna stay hidden because this is not the easiest area to get in. So that's what she's doing, and then she's gonna be like kind of like my eyes and ears. I want her to like, I guess, report to me like telepathically if she sees anything. And if you want, I can make like a declaration to see how well she could do that. Oh yeah, I would like to make a declaration for the future, so that like she will let me know like telepathically once like she sees something, like what she sees happening once she sees something happening.
Perfect. So which trait is this from?
This would be from heart, because I love, I guess, power control and having allies.
Perfect.
Oh boy, I drew a card upside down. I drew the Knight of Pentacles upside down.
Okay. So the Knight represents impetuousness, movement, and self-discovery. And Pentacles represents the element of earth and also includes money and achievements. So for the future, I will write down the consequences of that declaration.
Oh boy. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, she's staying there for now.
All right. So, Vincent, you leave, no problem. I don't think you guys told Vincent where you were going to go, though.
Oh, right. Because I was gonna use Penny to do that, but I guess, I guess she doesn't do that.
They left me. They just left me. I can't even see them. Like, where'd they go?
Vincent, where would you like to go? Not knowing where Ava and Errol are.
Oh no. This is why we probably shouldn't split the party, but I guess Vincent would have no idea, so he likes dogs, so he's gonna go check out the dogs.
Okay. And that is where Ava and Errol went as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So before Vincent arrives, Ava, Errol, you exit out a side door and you enter into a large terraced garden at the very back of the hall. It has all sorts of flowering plants and shrubberies, and the terrace opens up onto the sea. You're on a very small cliff, and down below there's a white sand beach with calm waves moving across the sand. Within the terrace, you have different benches, and you can see that there are a lot of different people, all with name tags, that are holding different kinds of dogs. You see a golden Labrador, you see a poodle, you see a Yorkie, you see a Chihuahua for some reason. But almost any kind of dog you can imagine is there, and there are just tons of people chatting and petting them and enjoying the sun.
Now, important question: is this Chihuahua like a regular hyperactive one that's like always like shivering?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because I was gonna say if this is like a calm one, then there might be something suspicious about it.
No, like this is called a therapy dog session, but you can obviously tell that this was just an excuse for Consent Creamery employees to bring their dogs to a beach vacation.
So I was gonna ask, out of character, I have no idea what a therapy dog session is, but now I guess I do.
Yeah, it's basically like you get really calm dogs to just sit with you, and you sit and chat with people who just, need a break. They can pet them. They can I don't know. I usually just dig my face into their fur and give them a big smooch. That makes me feel better. But yeah, it's normally just there are dogs. Be happy.
Aw.
All right. I guess I will just look around and see if there's anybody who's being suspicious or not enjoying petting a dog. I'm not really sure.
So there does appear to be one person who doesn't seem to necessarily be enjoying themselves. It's a human man. It looks conventionally attractive and is wearing a button-up long sleeve, even though it's hot out, and slacks and nice dress shoes. And they're holding the leash of this huge, big, dumb golden Labrador retriever. And the dog is just panting and looking around and just adoring all of the pets.
But he's just standing there kind of looking stern, or?
Yeah, he is. It's just kind of he'll look bored. And then someone will be like, "Oh, can I pet your dog?" And he'll be like, "Oh, yeah, of course. He loves that." And then as soon as they're not looking at him, he's just like, "Ugh, whatever."
I will walk up to him and I will say, "Excuse me, sir. I'm Thomas Underhill. I was just curious, what brings you here? You don't seem to be enjoying yourself very much."
He just kind of gives you a bit of a side eye and is like, "Oh, I mean, I'm here with Consent Creamery Therapy Dog Session." I mean, didn't you read the sign?
Are you in charge of these dogs?
No, I can barely handle this one. And you see the dog is just sitting there loving people, not even too hyperactive.
I would like to make another declaration. And I'm going to attempt to befriend him as well with Heart. With Heart. Okay. But in this case, I'm going to pretend like I'm just as fed up with this event as he is. Not necessarily, I'm not going to be I hate dogs, but I'm going to be yeah, this is kind of ridiculous, isn't it? Wouldn't we be doing better doing something else right now or something like that? So I'll just draw, I guess, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got strength and it is inverted.
Oh, so far all of the cards we've pulled have been the minor arcana. And in this game, the minor arcana influence more immediate consequences and actions most of the time. Strength is a major arcana card. And in this game, that means it affects the world at large. It's not just this particular instance you're influencing. It is the rest of the world, essentially.
Oh, wow.
So you haven't felt anything so far when you've taken these conscious actions to influence fate, Errol, but now you'd feel a boom boom in your chest, and there's a little bit of that pulse you felt before, and you can see this man just becomes incredibly irritated. And you take a quick look around and you can see that there are more people that are just kind of bored and fed up. You can see the dogs are they can sense something's going on and something's wrong, but the mood has just drastically shifted. So strength in the upright position means courage and self-discipline. When it's reversed, it's the opposite of that. And the opposite is typically whatever you define it as. In this case, I, as the Fate Weaver, have defined it as people are not taking as much care of their dogs. They are not caring about this. And so the vibe has just immediately dropped. And so you've tried to befriend this man by being by matching his mood. And you've done so successfully. But that has in turn completely dropped the mood of everybody else here.
Oh, no.
And you don't know. You don't know what consequences those will bring in the future. But no one's enjoying the therapy dogs anymore.
Oh no.
This is great timing.
And I'll say,
Yeah, actually, there's something I would like to do while he's doing that. But like, if you wanted to finish it up, like the RP up, we can do so. But there's something I want to do while it's happening.
let's do your thing first, Ava, because maybe that'll influence Errol's roleplay as well later.
Yeah, because so Ava's a devil, right? She's half devil. She recently actually just came back from hell. The dogs, if they're regular dogs, I feel like they would probably sense that on her and they would probably get scared of her or have some kind of reaction. So knowing this, she is going to like walk around and like interact with them and see if there are any that don't react to her in a certain way, being a devil. So this might be the reason for the mood drop, just like this entity that's like scaring all the dogs away. But yeah, I would like to do that.
Of course. Yeah, that can definitely be part of it. So you start walking around and like you hit the Chihuahua first and they're just immediately like, "Arr!"
Oh, I wouldn't be hitting them. Okay. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be hitting them, but like I would be like near them.
No, sorry. That was a poor choice of words on my part. I meant like you were going to them first. I would never. We do not endorse animal violence on this
Please do not hit the
podcast.
dogs.
Oh my God. I need to. Yes, thank you. I need to word my words better. Oh my God.
No worries.
No. So like the first dog that you go to is the Chihuahua and they're just like growling. They're like hopping in place. And then because of Errol's declaration, the owner, instead of being like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, they're just, hyperactive or something," they're like, "What are you doing to my dog?" Like immediately aggressive towards you.
Oh, I'm not doing anything. I'm just walking around. I'm just minding my own business. What does it look like I'm doing?
Well, you're clearly doing something because my precious baby never acts like this.
Well, that's too bad. That's too bad, I guess. And then she's just gonna walk off. She's gonna go to the next dog.
Perfect. And it's like very similar for each dog you go to.
Okay.
And the only one that doesn't react like that is the golden Labrador Retriever that is standing next to Errol and this man.
Oh.
And so, Vincent, I'm going to say that you arrive at this time. You see the mood is like shattered. Like you thought you were going to go and relax with some dogs while you wait for your friends. No, this is like immediately stressful. And you just see Ava and Errol next to this guy. Errol and the guy look super upset. And Ava's just like, there's a dog that loves me. And the dog is just like, starts licking your hand.
Yeah. And then, she's going to like kind of like drop down and she's going to be like smiling for the first. She's like, "Oh, now here's what I call a good dog. I wonder," she's going to look up at that man. "What do you do to make them so well behaved?" And I would like to make a declaration here to try to like get information to get him to say things. Like this would be like a kind of like a charm effect. She's like using her devilish magic on him.
Okay, sounds good. And the ultimate thing you want to talk about is anything about Consent Creamery or something else?
She would like to know, first of all, why this dog is acting differently, and second, she would like to basically like know exactly what his relationship is to Consent Creamery and what he's doing here, and also like about this dog, basically.
Okay, go ahead. What trait is that coming from?
That is coming from the trait of desire to have influence on others.
Perfect.
I drew a card upside down. Wonderful. 6 of Pentacles.
6 of
After all
Pentacles.
that.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. Yeah. So, I do want to caveat, upside down or reverse does not necessarily mean negative, but in the context, it's kind of like that. So 6 represents growth, communication, and problem solving. And Pentacles, again, is earth, money, and achievements. So, the man responds, oh, I mean, I take him to the best trainers when he was a puppy, and it's, we go up for occasional, re-ups and stuff, but like, I'm a lawyer for Consent Creamery, so I can afford the best dog training. And you can see that he's obviously trying to impress you with his power and his achievements. But that's not necessarily something that is communicating what you actually wanted to get from him.
Mm-hmm. I see. So I've charmed him in a certain way, but not in the way that I wanted.
Exactly.
And then she's like, oh, I mean, okay, I'm going to try failing upwards. Well, so you're a lawyer. So what exactly do lawyers do? Tell me more about this really impressive lawyer thing.
Oh, I mean, it's basic big law, you go and work for long hours until you're made like partner or something like that. But with Consent Creamery, it's a lot more of making sure we don't step on anybody's toes, trying to be like the bigger person. It's a lot of hard work. I work a lot of long hours, but it's worth it. I'm really good at my job.
And what kind of disputes do you think could arise from, well, anything that's happened in this here convention? Like, what kind of things would you be trying to avoid?
Oh, well, I can name you 5 right off the top of my head, but I won't bore you with all of that big lawyer talk. I can't imagine you'd want to know all of that. But I'd say the biggest thing is probably intellectual property competition. There's a lot of new recipes or inventions that people say are new, but you can't really, until it's got the patent on it, you can't actually say that it's yours or that it's new. So I do a lot of patent work trying to make sure that all of our inventions are clear and that there's nobody else trying to like steal our information and things like that. I know it sounds boring to most people, but trust me, it's pretty important stuff. Basically, Consent Creamery wouldn't be here if it weren't for me.
No, actually, that is pretty interesting and impressive indeed that you have such an influence on the Consent Creamery. Now, are all these people here your associates? Are there more associates in here that work for Consent Creamery besides just people in this room?
Oh, I mean, I'm the only one from the law arm, but I'm sure there are other people going around. We like to take a look at what competitors are doing, but we also like to see who we can partner with, see if there's any particular potential for a lucrative partnership and combined product.
I see. Oh, okay, here, I have something. So what's your policy on hostile takeovers? Does Consent Creamery ever do that, or have anyone try to do that with Consent Creamery before?
I'm hostile takeover is a rather intense term, and both Errol and Ava can see that he's starting to close up. You've gotten him to be friendly, but there's generally like, okay, now I have to watch what I say. He's like, hostile takeover, that's no, we don't do anything like that. Of course, there are mergers and stuff, but not hostile takeovers.
I see. Yeah, I just know someone who's in business and does that kind of stuff. Yeah, definitely something you want to be careful of. Not something that we would want.
Oh, of course.
Pardon me. I know y'all have a conversation going on, but I just wanted to say, how do you feel about the competition from Hestia's Bestias? It seems like they've been doing some really good things lately with their sour cream and onion chips.
Oh, I mean, that's a pretty unique invention. We don't normally delve into that particular field, but I know it's of some interest given that there is potentially cream involved. So I know that there are probably some people who are curious about it, but until it's brought to my desk, I don't really care.
Sounds like some pretty stiff competition to me.
We can take them. I doubt that their cream is vegan and cruelty free like ours.
Well, I will.
This guy is.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh,
no,
sorry.
I was gonna say I will pat the dog a few times and then take my leave to go meet up with Vincent. You can continue your conversation, Ava. I'm dipping out.
I will say, before any RP continues on that front, Vincent, you've been going around and you can see that some of the people have started to be like, oh my goodness, thanks so much for coming here. I didn't think help from the volunteers would come so quickly, but there is a campion just walking around and irritating all of the dogs. And you can sense now the aura of maturity and action and inspiration coming off of you. You can tell that this is from the declaration you made. People are going to you for leadership and they want this person out of the therapy dog session.
Don't worry, ma'am. I'll see what I can do. And I start heading off in Ava's direction.
Errol, you can see like all of the people are just like looking at Vincent as those like, oh my gosh, what an amazing volunteer. Wow.
Vincent, I don't know what you did, man, but it seems like people are really affected by you right now. I came in here and started talking, and the dogs went nuts.
I don't know either, but let's roll with it.
Okay.
And he walks up to those two that are having a conversation, Ava and the man, and says, ma'am, is there a problem here?
What? Hello? I was just talking to this man. He had this very nice, well-trained dog that wasn't reacting like a crazy one. Like, that's all I was doing. I don't get why people are so upset right now. And she's 100% like putting on a scene here.
The man is just like slowly backing away, trying to gain distance, but the dog is just like sitting there looking at all of you happily, and so he can't get very far because he's on the leash.
Yeah, like, I mean, Vincent, you can see in Ava's eyes, she's just like, oh, good, glad that you're here. But then she's like, also just like saying, like, she's pretending that she's being like all indignant about like, oh, really, security's here?
Ma'am, you're upsetting a lot of the other people here. I'd appreciate it if you brought your voice down a little bit.
Fine. If that's what everyone wants, I'll just leave this place. But man, your therapy dogs are all And then she just like does a thumbs down motion and also says some expletives. And then
they're like gasps. It's like, oh, she didn't. How dare she? I'm reporting her.
And then she'll like allow Vincent to walk her out, but pretend that she's not happy about it.
Perfect. Okay, you guys are back in the foyer near the employees only area. And Ava, just then, you get a message from Penny. So based on the declaration you had made, Penny did in fact see that the Warforged opened up a locker, took something from it, closed it, and left. Wanting to try and grab whatever the Warforged took, Penny swooped in, but they saw her and knocked her down.
Oh no.
And so she knows that they have something, but she doesn't know where they went.
And where is Penny now?
She is waiting outside the employees only area.
Oh, okay. So then as soon as like is Tommy, was it? Is that your alias?
Thomas Underhill?
Thomas.
Yes.
Okay, so then if is Thomas Underhill also gonna go out like at the same time as Vincent and
Yeah,
Eva?
I would follow you guys.
Okay. Yeah, as soon as like we're out of like the therapy dog session, out of like people watching us, she'll pull you two aside and just be like, okay, so So Penny did get spotted. She did go into the area, and apparently she saw this little warforged take something out of a locker and then just leave. So I think she's in trouble. I should.
Wait, that was the little warforged I saw before.
Oh, really?
He said that he was looking for something.
I guess he found what he was looking for then.
She should have stayed around. Wait, stay around? That bottle said that we can change our fate, right?
What perhaps we could change the past.
What if I did stay around to just try and see what he just took and catch him at the right moment?
You could try. Sorry.
I'd like to make a declaration using...
Oh my gosh.
Using hate. Like, what I hate is injustice. If that little guy was stealing something from someone else, I'd count that as injustice.
Oh my gosh. Fate Weaver is so excited. Yes, absolutely. Pull your card.
All right. I pulled the Emperor in reverse.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I mean, go on to pull.
Okay. Oh, this is like best case scenario for me. I am so excited. So, the Emperor in its upright position represents authority and the patriarch, the head man, essentially. Usually the pinnacle of masculinity. So I'm going to ask you for a little bit of help with this because this is such a big card. Mm-hmm. You can change the past where you stayed, but how would you exactly influence that to where you would complete your goal?
I guess the way that I would try to influence that is I try to stop him, the little warforged dude, as soon as he takes whatever it is that he's looking for. But I have, yeah, I'll go with that.
Okay. So nothing changes with you three. You are still standing here outside of the garden, but you are holding in your hand, Vincent, the papers that the warforged had stolen. You know, because this is now a memory of something that happened, that instead of leaving, you stayed behind and snuck around and hid behind one of the lockers. You waited until this little warforged found what they needed. And just as they were getting out of there, you stepped in front of them and essentially bullied them.
Oh, no.
Into giving you the plans. You threatened them. You were aggressive, but it worked. They ended up shutting down right then and there from the stress of it all.
Oh, no.
You have the plans, but it was taken in not the best way.
I feel so bad now. Guys, I did some terrible things to get this. I feel so ashamed of myself.
That's the best way to get things sometimes. The only way to get them is to do terrible things.
And then you hear a shout from the employees only area coming from Doc. And they run out and say, somebody get a medic or an engineer. There's somebody who's shut down and they're not waking up.
Time to go.
And so
we'll go find somebody right now, Doc.
Go off.
Oh, no. Just like whispers.
Yes, please. I'm going to go and look for someone over in the poster room. You guys go find someone else. And they head off towards the poster room.
All right, we should get out of here, guys.
Ava just like whispers, now would be a good time to drop the disguise because now you just pinned it on someone else.
I even feel twice as bad.
Yeah, she's like, I'm impressed.
He transforms back into the gnome.
Yeah, I think we should find a safe place to look at these documents real quick.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
How about we go to the booth area?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then we can see if anything interesting happens there.
Vincent just quietly passes it into Errol's hands. Here, these are yours. I don't want anything to do with them.
Oh. Oh, Vincent!
Hey, you know what? You want if you want someone who's morally gray or black to hold on to them, sure. Yeah, are you handing them to her?
He hands him to Ava.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
So to the exhibit hall?
Yeah. Oh, but wait, Penny. If she got like knocked down, is she like hurt or something? Oh no, I have to check on my dragon.
Well, that might have stopped that from happening because, I'll let the Fate Weaver speak. I'm sorry.
No, you're exactly right, Errol. Penny is instead waiting in the rafters kind of the main foyer, near the employee, or I should say in the hallway, that connects to the foyer. And as soon as Doc had run out, she went and settled onto your shoulder. She is perfectly fine. She actually talks to you a little bit about just how vicious Vincent was when talking to this little Warforged, and how she's very impressed and a little scared, but mostly impressed.
I mean, she's been around Ava a lot, so she's seen a lot of like threatening and questionable things happen. And then like, yeah, Ava just like raised her eyebrows at Vincent, and she's like, well, yeah, very, very well done. All right, so yeah, let's go find somewhere safe to look at these plans.
Vincent, I think if it makes you feel any better, you should consider that man would have done harm to Penny if you hadn't done that.
That's true, but I don't know what came over me. I mean, that was like the worst thing I've ever said in the past 6 months.
Let's get you a soda or something, man.
I'd like that, yeah.
So you guys make your way back to the foyer. You grab a little soda can from one of the kiosks there and then head into the main exhibit hall. As you step inside, the sound of crowds and hawkers fill your ears. You look up as the sound bounces up across the vaulted ceilings with this natural light shining through all of these uncovered windows that rise tens of feet into the air. There are ribbons of gossamer cloth hanging in arcs across the ceiling. This place was done up. This is probably the sites for all of the main events, is like the booths in the exhibit hall. It's lively and electric. There are all sorts of people around here. It makes it kind of hard to actually find a secret place, but given that there are so many people who are intent on interacting with people at the booths, you're pretty certain that nobody's going to notice if you're just huddling over some pieces of paper.
Yes, so I would like to look at these papers real quickly, rifle through them, and see what I can glean from them. Or, I'm sorry, Ava has them.
Yeah. I mean, I'll you guys can look at them as well. Like, yeah, I'll lay them out in front of everyone.
Okay.
We'll find out what's in those papers after the break. Today, we are joined by Vincent.
I am so ashamed of myself.
Ava.
This has been a really productive day so far.
And Errol.
Errol's rubbing his chin, thinking about what Vincent just accomplished, and the wheels are turning in his head. This is powerful juice.
Before we sign off, we've got a review.
All right, so we got a review from Mango04. Great, authentic D&D. Nothing too flashy, but good old-fashioned D&D played by normal people. Really does feel like players amongst friends. I love the guild idea. After half a dozen random episodes, I have a few favorite characters like Mocha, Tanager, Meerkat, Dr. Crud III, Raincloud, Nezgrax, and so many more. Not every session is played by the same people, so you get to see a chemistry amongst various players. It's hilarious to see how certain personalities mix and could either make or break the party. The DM for The Tale of Three Tales is awesome. I wish the podcast also presented the DMs. There are some funny scenarios and some cringy situations that kind of remind me of The Office sometimes, amongst the characters, even though situations call for awkward solutions. Quality of the podcast gets better each season. Thank you very much, Mango04. If you guys like the podcast, make sure to leave a review on iTunes, and we just might read it out loud on air. Thank you very much.
We'll see you all soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Today's mid-episode shoutout is from Peter095837, who says, quote, "My first dungeon is the tabletop role-playing podcast where we help game masters learn new games and make each one better than the last." End quote. You can arrange for us to read your shoutout at firebreathingkittenspodcast.com through our partnership with Buy Me a Coffee. We have paperback, ebook, hardcover, and audiobook adaptations of our adventures on Amazon and Audible. Lastly, we don't pay to advertise our show, so the only way we can grow is if you tell someone about us. Is there an episode that would make someone you know smile? Tell them about it. Thank you.
Welcome back to this episode of Fire Breathing Kittens. Who would like to do a quick review for us to cover what happened in the first half? No takers. All right, we're going with Ava.
Okay. Fun times. I'm gonna do it in character. You know what?
Nice.
All right. So, what's happened so far is we took this job that was handed to us in delivery for Errol, in the Fire Breathing Kittens Guild Hall. It was in a country pretty far north at this convention called the Banilla Convention, I believe. And there we were sent to make sure that the vendors wouldn't come to any harm because there were some spies from the Consent Creamery who were going there to cause some trouble for him. And we were trying to do that, trying to investigate. We ended up going into the employee-only area and initially weren't really successful. We found that a warforged trying to take something. And then initially it escaped, but due to some fate altering things, it turns out it didn't. And then in the meantime, while Vincent, disguised as an employee, and Ava and Penny were there, Ava and Errol went to the therapy dog session where the Consent Creamery was. And Errol befriended this lawyer guy, and Ava caused some trouble. Well, I caused some trouble walking around because the dog sensed my fiendish presence, except for one, which was the lawyer's dog. And we learned that he didn't like talking about things like hostile takeovers and was mostly concerned about intellectual property and stuff. So, interesting things. And when we learned that Vincent had changed fate and done some pretty evil things to get his hands on the plans. But now we got him. And that little warforged ain't going nowhere with them.
No.
All right. Thank you, Ava. And we will pick up where you all left off in the grand exhibit hall with booths and kiosks and people everywhere. You all find a relatively quiet corner, basically some place where people won't second guess someone huddling over a bunch of papers. And you guys take a look at the plans that Vincent had gotten from that small little warforged in the employees only area.
I'm still ashamed of myself.
I'm proud.
As you guys open up the plans, you see that it is a series of blueprints. One of them has what looks like a list and drawings of different mechanical pieces, and another one has very rough sketches of how those pieces come together. And then one of the last pieces of paper has a full schematic of what looks like a box on wheels that contains machinery of all sorts. Are any of you well versed in engineering?
I hang around with another guild mate who is like a Flex Arcana. Might have learned a thing or two from him.
Not so much on my end.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with mechanics or engineering or anything like that.
Okay. Well, I'll say, Ava, you can probably glean that this is a mobile mechanical box of sorts, but you don't know what it's for. You can only see notes scribbled out that says at the very bottom, keg tinker. And then there is one last piece of paper. It looks like it was crumpled up. Not the same material as any of the others, but it simply says report to Ravenwood.
Ravenwood.
Keg Tinker. So Keg Tinker, that's like one of the Moondollars people, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Okay.
Tipsy and Tapsy, I believe, were their names.
So looks like this might be the property of the Keg Tinkers. Maybe that Warforged was the spy and they were trying to take this. So then Ravenwood. That's who they're reporting to. Yeah, it looks like this is some type of new schematic that they were trying to make for something.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And perhaps that lawyer guy was going to try to put a patent on it, make it his, and make it theirs, I mean.
We didn't get his name either, did we?
Oh, I believe we didn't. Huh. But perhaps that's something we can figure out from, like, the info desk, or someone, or, like, some kind of record. I'm sure they must have some record of it. Somewhere.
Or
Oh!
I could transform into the little guy and then report back to him saying that I got what we were looking for.
Or I could make a declaration and go back in time and try to find out his name.
That works too.
You know what? I want to try to do that. I'm
Nice.
gonna try to get his name. Go back, change the thing.
We're going to cause a paradox or something.
We're gonna break time.
Oh my god.
No,
So I drew the moon upright.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And
And
what trait are you pulling from?
Probably heart, because I love power and control and influence.
Okay, fair enough. And you want to manipulate this as you getting his name?
Yep, literally that. Just getting, but like his real name, not some kind of alias or something. Yeah, getting
Gotcha.
his name.
Okay.
No.
So this is interesting because the moon represents illusion, mystery, and dreams. So I'm going to say that there is a new memory that occurs with this newfound knowledge. You know that this man's name is Ramses Joyner and that the dog's name is Bud. So now you've got their names. And the way that you're able to get them is that you kind of turned up the charm a little bit and were able to manipulate the actual relationship you were going for with Ramses in order to get that information. So you're not entirely sure how that's going to play out in the future, but you know that there is a certain kind of relationship that has been set up now. One that is based off of mystery and mystique. Ooh.
Okay. Interesting.
And so what was the name?
Ramses Joyner.
Ramses
And then
Joyner.
the dog's name was Bud. I know that's the more important part of it.
Yes.
I'm writing that one down.
So he's not Ravenwood.
And then is the dog like literally just a well-trained dog, or is it something else?
Oh no, the dog is actually just, he just loves everybody. It doesn't matter who, just loves.
Aw, so okay. He's not the kind of dog that would protect you against ghosts and demons and stuff.
Oh yeah, no, they would,
You would-
he
you
would
would play with
love
them?
on them.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so Fate Weaver, would I be able to make a declaration using my love trait for making new friends to attempt to find out who this Ravenwood is in a general sense, like not targeting any specific person, but just kind of going around and chatting in the booths to see if anyone knows a Ravenwood?
Yes, I think that's a good use of a declaration.
All right. So just draw? Mm-hmm. I got the Hermit not reversed.
Oh, okay. So that's another major arcana. Wow. First, we had strength, and then we had emperor and moon, and now, oh my goodness, you just said it.
The hermit.
Hermit. Yes, thank you. Okay. Oh wow, hermit. So hermit in this case, it feels like it's counterintuitive to what you're trying to do because it typically represents solitude, but it can also represent self-reflection. So that's kind of an interesting way to make friends. So I will say people are genuinely very open, not just to you, but to a lot of other people. And I'm kind of going along like the self-reflection route where it's like people are being a little more vulnerable, right? They're sharing a little bit more about themselves in conversation rather than just trying to show off a product or something. So you're able to get a good spread of the room. And Ravenwood, people immediately think like, and it's only in particular circles. You'd find that it's in like unorthodox suites. So like, for example, one person might notice your licorice and be like, oh, well, don't you know, Dr. Ravenwood is a connoisseur of unorthodox sweets. She loves licorice and tamarind candies and things like that. And so you're able to find out that her full name is Dr. Laurel Ravenwood. She is well known in the food and beverage industry as a connoisseur. And she is known to work for Consent Creamery in consulting relationships. You'd know that she is a halfling. She's about 95 to 100 years old. And she's wearing a pantsuit today. There's been some people who've seen her in the exhibition hall.
Vincent, Ava, I've been schmoozing a little and I've come across the name Dr. Laurel Ravenwood, and apparently she's in the exhibition area. She supposedly works for Consent Creameries, which makes sense. So I believe, Vincent, I do believe you had apprehended the spy and got the correct documents that they were after.
Oh, well, that's good to know. At least it wasn't for nothing.
So the question is, do we take these documents to the keg tinkers and then confront this Dr. Ravenwood, or do we just give the documents back? What do you guys think we should do from here?
I mean, I think we should definitely show the keg tinkers what they're about to do, and I love catching criminals, especially dumb ones. And you can see, like, ever since she learned the name of the lawyer, like her devil traits are like on full display. Yeah, like the glowing eyes and the like golden markings. She can't seem to turn them off right now. So yeah, she'll just say, yeah. And then, perhaps we should go confront her.
Oh, hey, I have an idea. What if we talk to the keg tinkers first, but tell them we're going to hold on to the documents, and then we convince Dr. Ravenwood to meet us somewhere that the keg tinkers know that the meeting's happening, and then we act like we're going to pass the documents off, and then we have an aha, we caught you moment.
That's very interesting. I think that would work.
Yeah, perhaps. Though, yeah, and then maybe we can get Dr. Ravenwood to tell us what other nefarious plans she had, because there was also the other company that they were targeting, right? We haven't found anything about that yet.
Hestia's Bestias.
Yeah, maybe we can find out from her what was going to happen.
So we speak to the keg tinkers, and then we invite her somewhere like perhaps the gardens or the tasting room.
Probably shouldn't go near the gardens, right?
Yeah, that's true. They recognize us there.
Yeah, winks at them.
So perhaps the tasting room.
Yeah, the tasting room is good. Yep.
All right, so
sounds like a plan.
So do y'all want to go talk to the keg tinkers first?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I say we go there.
Okay. how do you plan on finding the keg tinkers?
Sorry, it was the Moon Dollar was where their booth was. Or did the Moon
Right.
Dollar have a booth?
So you look around, or you would have seen, Errol, that Moon Dollar does not have a booth.
Oh.
And they make some type of drink, correct?
Yes, different kinds of coffee drinks.
Coffee drinks.
Yeah, and actually I'll hand the documents to Errol because he's best buddies with the security guard. So I feel like if they search us for them, he might be able to not get caught having the documents out of everyone else.
Okay.
Very true.
All right, so the Moon Dollar does not have a booth here. Do we think that they might be in the tasting room?
Perhaps.
Well, we could also just use a declaration to try and find them.
That's true. Would you like...
I'll do that.
You'll try it? Okay.
My desire is, above all, to leave a positive, lasting mark in the world before I go. So, I want to rectify the situation by meeting them and letting them know what's going on.
Okay.
And the card that I drew was a 6 of Wands in reverse.
6 of Wands. Okay. So the 6 represents growth, communication, and problem solving. And Wands, again, fire, action, and inspiration. So I will say this is probably one of the best cards you could have drawn. You did say it was in reverse, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you are able to go around, you're mingling, you still kind of have like this aura of drive and confidence. And you're able to find out that the keg tinkers are actually giving a presentation right now about their newest invention, the mobile barista.
Ooh.
But it's kind of like a not invite only, but you needed a ticket beforehand. And obviously the event's going on, so you don't have a ticket to go in there. So you're able to find out where they were. But
Oh, I got this one. I would like to make a declaration that I go back in the past and ask Doc if he can acquire me a ticket to that event.
okay, let's do it. And what trait are you pulling from?
I would use heart for friendships because I'm
Okay.
cool with Doc.
That's true.
No, I don't have anything interesting that I could give him as like a reward for this, but I guess we'll just see what happens.
We could give him Malum, the dragon, but in like stained glass object form, but then he just flies away afterwards.
I'm kind of fond of Doc, so I don't think I want to trick him.
More licorice then?
Yeah, well, I guess I'll just give him more licorice, but we'll draw and see what happens first, because this might go backfire. All right.
All right.
I got the world, and it is not upside down. Man, all the major arcana.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Okay.
Completion and accomplishment.
Okay. Let's see. I mean, completion and accomplishment, you definitely get your goal. You have this sudden memory. And again, much like the rest of you have felt when you've pulled a major arcana, there's like a boom, boom in your heart, this pulse, as though something big has happened. You have this sudden memory, Errol, that you were talking with Doc, and had known that the keg tinkers were speaking. You had gotten that information from the desk beforehand and asked for tickets. Doc acquired them for you, saying he was going to go with a friend, but like he got scheduled for that time, so gave them to you. This changes slightly what happened after Doc found the Warforged shut off after Vincent had taken the plans. Instead of going off for help after contacting you, he came up to you, Errol, and said, please help me find this person. I'm going to tell everybody else that like you're looking because you're a security guard. Like, you know what's going on. So like, please help me complete this task.
Okay, so that would be something I have to do now? Or
I mean, theoretically, I mean, you don't have to, but now they're basically, you have a reputation now of being like the go-to man.
who is the person? Do you have a name or?
So the person's name that Vincent had masqueraded as was Jimmy.
Oh no.
Oh no. Poor Jimmy.
Jimmy Flowers.
Oh
So,
man.
Yeah, and
but I could find the real Jimmy Flowers. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And there is a sense that if you were to do as Doc asked, that in itself would lend credence towards this feeling of completion and accomplishment.
How many tickets did he acquire?
2 tickets.
2 tickets. Okay. All right. I hate to split the party, guys. I have 2 tickets. I got them from Doc. However, he asked a favor of me, but I think I should go do this thing for him real quick while you guys investigate the keg tinkers. Do you think that will be okay?
Yeah, I mean, that works.
What do you think, Vincent?
Sure.
Okay. I would hate to sever this connection with Doc. I don't want to, at this point, I've asked a lot of him, so I don't want to let him down. So if you guys will go investigate that, I'll see if I can find this Jimmy that you impersonated.
I still feel bad about this.
It's for a good cause. You probably might have saved the keg tinkers.
And I might also have ruined this man's career, but hey, you win some, you lose some, I guess.
Look,
Exactly.
I will see if I can get him out of it at the same time. Perhaps someone else was impersonating him, and I get to the bottom of it, and I bring him there to prove that he didn't do it.
But perhaps he was possessed by one of my devil friends.
That's also possible.
But yeah, perhaps we can make it look like that happened. He had a momentary lapse in, well, something.
Okay, so I hate to split the party again, but...
No worries. We'll get to you in a little bit.
Okay.
Right now, we'll go with Ava and Vincent to the speaker's room. Okay. So it's on the opposite side of the garden and the employee area. This is a rather large room. It accommodates about 200 people, and you can see that there are chairs in rows evenly interspersed. It's very much more of a auditorium where you're watching somebody up on the dais speaking behind the podium. And you can see about half of the room is filled. Currently, you see 2 gnomes. They look very similar. They are probably siblings. Talking very animatedly about this new invention, and you see it up on stage. It looks like a box with wheels. And having looked at the plans, this is probably what is described. There seems to be a malfunction currently going on. And you can see that the keg tinkers are very, rushed and trying to rectify the situation while being like, it still obviously is in prototype condition, but we swear this is definitely going to be something big. It worked before. I don't know why it's not working now.
So, question for the Fate Weaver. Can we, influence fate for others or just fate for ourselves?
You can
our own
influence...
actions?
No, you can influence fate for others.
Okay, can I try to make a declaration to make the thing have worked? Is that something I could do?
Yes.
The malfunction to never have happened?
Absolutely. Which trait are you basing this on?
Yeah, okay, I'm basing this on heart because I love having allies and potentially making deals, who knows?
Okay.
Yeah, I drew a 5 of swords, reversed.
Okay. So 5, interesting. 5 represents adversity, conflict, and uncertainty. And swords is the element of air combined with intellect. And you drew it reversed. This is probably the best card you could have pulled, honestly.
Nice.
So this I will say represents the intellectual overcoming of adversity. They're up there, they're trying their best to make it work, and you can kind of see like this sudden oh wait, like an epiphany. And both of the keg tinkers just stop trying to explain. They're like, give us just 1 second. And they both go in and start working on it. And you can see that it immediately stops leaking and begins to work as intended. And they produce 2 drinks. And they start, giving samples of it to people. You can see, Ava and Vincent, there is one person in the crowd who seems to be a little upset that this happened.
Who's that?
So, this looks to be a green dragonkin or dragonborn. They are wearing like a casual like blazer, kind of like that like business casual where it's like the button up and then a blazer, but then you're wearing sneakers or something. He's wearing that outfit, and he's just kind of like sitting with arms crossed and legs crossed and like his brows drawn very deeply together.
Okay, interesting.
That man certainly looks suspicious.
Yeah, perhaps that was another one of their spies. I'm actually gonna, we should probably confront him after they're done speaking. We wouldn't want to interrupt their nice performance now, wouldn't they? Wouldn't we?
That's true. Although, maybe we should keep an eye on him in case he tries to leave for whatever reason.
Yeah, perhaps. I've actually got something that can prevent him from leaving. And then she's gonna take out Malum, who's been still as a statue, as this little stained glass dragon, and say, Malum, prevent that guy from running if you can. And I guess I'll make another declaration to, for Malum to, I guess, use his powers to either grow in size and literally block this person's exit, or somehow fasten his clothes onto the chair or something. So if he gets up, he can't, or I don't know, in some kind of way, prevent him from leaving.
We'll let the cards
before we can confront him.
Yeah, we'll let the cards decide how this turns out. And which trait are you using?
Oh, right. Great point.
Do you mind if I assist? I remember reading that multiple people can make a declaration at the same time.
Yes, you can. So go ahead and make your declaration. Hers will resolve first, and then your declaration will resolve second, and that will likely influence what happens overall.
All right. And I'm using mine based off of my hate of injustice.
Yeah. Okay, so I was trying to decide. Which one I was do mine over. It'd be heart because I love having control. That would be
okay.
Okay. Yep. Heart.
Okay, so you draw first, Ava.
Yep. 2 of swords.
2 of swords.
Reversed.
Reversed. So 2 is partnership, dichotomy, and balance, and swords is air and intellect. So that's interesting. And what was your card, Vincent?
Mine was the devil upright.
The devil upright. As an assist to our Cambion friend here. Wow.
Yes.
Okay. So the devil represents bondage and restriction. Upright. That was great.
Perfect.
That was great. So, and Ava, you said yours was reversed, correct?
Yeah, but I'm just sending Malum to do it, so maybe Malum wasn't the right thing. That could be the thing. Yeah,
so,
mine was reversed.
Okay, so here's what happens. Malum goes over and basically is just kind of like a little sneaky, right? The presentation ends, everyone's clapping. You see this dragonborn starting to get up, and Malum immediately sticks their claws through his clothes and binds him to the chair. And then grows a little bit so that there's more glass pinning him to this chair. And there is very quickly an imbalance of power here where this dragonborn is now I have no idea what's going on. What is this thing? Why am I stuck here? And they are definitely off kilter. They are not reacting as they normally would because this is so strange and out of nowhere, and because there's a force acting on them that they're not aware of.
All right, now what?
So now, how about you go and talk to the Moon Dollars people, perhaps? Oh, actually, wait. I think Errol has the documents.
Could I have passed those off to him before the show? Because that was the whole purpose.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
fine. I'm pretty sure Ava, like, as the keeper of the document, I assumed it went to Ava, actually.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
So,
Oh,
we'll just
actually,
keep it
then
like that.
yeah. Okay. So then I guess I'll like hand you the documents, kind of like under the, like under my wings, using my wings to like hide what I'm doing, basically. Why don't you take this and go to the cake tinkers and make things right? Because you want to be a good person, right? And then I'll deal with this one here.
Well, how about it then? And I take the documents and I turn around. But as I turn around, I shapeshift into a different security guard who hopefully I don't ruin their career.
Oh, no, you got some pretty powerful energy around you right now. We'll see.
Oh, fingers crossed.
All right. Ava, we'll go to you first, and then we'll go to Vincent, and then we'll go to Errol. Sound good?
Okay.
All right. So what are you doing to this poor dragonborn pinned to this chair?
I'm just gonna saunter over casually, arms crossed, taking my time. Then I'm gonna go to him and say, well, I'll say, well. You looked quite disappointed when when that little scheme didn't go off, huh?
So based on the devil that was drawn, there is immediately just not even any kind of facade. You see right through him. He can't hide anything behind a poker face. And he's just like, what a scheme. Okay, who are you?
I'm Avarice Hallaby, darling. And
Hallaby?
I'm here.
I can swear I've heard that. You're a Hallaby? And he tries to take a step back, but obviously can't.
She just grins even farther with her devilish grin. And mind you, her full, like, she is basically in her, like, in a devil form almost. Yeah. And, well, do you have a soul? Do you value it?
I wouldn't. Yes, I do.
Well, so explain to me exactly, in that case, if you value your soul, explain to me exactly what your intentions were, what your purpose is, who you hired you, and what you were planning to do, and who else is working with you.
I'm sorry. I am so scared right now. I didn't catch any of that. Can you ask again, please?
Okay, let's take it one by one. So first of all, what's your name?
My name, it's Valoom Kimbo.
Vloom Kimbo. Well then, Vloom, so, and what was your intention behind making their little contraption of theirs fail?
I intended to make sure that they would have to come to Consent Creamery to have it looked at because they had backed out of a partnership that we recently had in order to try and go independent. And so I sabotaged the device that would have had them go independent so that they would come crawling back to Consent Creamery. Wow, you're really scary. I was really trained not to do this, but
I just got one more question, perhaps the most important one. So, tell me everyone who's working with you here to accomplish those same goals to help Consent Creamery and hurt other companies.
we're not told that information just in case something like this happens. Oh my God, I'm dead. I was working with my partner Humboldt, who was going in the lockers to the employees' room to go and steal plans so that we could, hold it ransom. And then we were to report to Dr. Ravenwood.
Okay, and then Dr. Ravenwood. Okay. Well, what's your relationship with Ramses Joyner?
Oh, he's so rude. I hate him. He's just like this guy in the law arm who thinks he's all that. He doesn't even do anything.
Yeah, that's what lawyers do sometimes. Anyways, thank you for your cooperation. You may go now.
So
And try not to. Maybe if you don't tell other people that we had this conversation or alert them, that would be a good thing. She winks at him.
you're not going to
Still
take my
scary.
soul, right? I'm going to keep my soul, right?
For now.
And you just kind of like starts crying as you walk away.
And then of course like Malin lets go and then turns back into the little small dragon, flies back to my shoulder.
Yep. And you can see there are other people who like saw you talking with him, but as soon as they sense the aura, they're just like, nope, and left the speaker's room.
Oh yeah, there's a literal devil in here.
Not only that, because like, there are like other kinds of like devilkin and stuff going around, but it's like someone actively interrogating someone. That's like, no way, man. I'm not getting involved.
Yeah.
All right. So while this is going on, Vincent, you go up to the stage and talk to the keg tinkers. They're very clearly like, they're like consoling each other and giving each other a pep talk. It's like, as you walk up to them, you hear them saying, "It's okay, Tipsy, it's okay." And the other one's like, "I know, Tapsy, it's just, we worked so hard on this and it was perfect yesterday when we test ran it." And Tipsy's like, or Tapsy is like, "I know, sometimes these things happen, but the good thing is we fixed it. People tried the drink and liked it. We're not done for." And that's when you arrive.
I would like to roll back a little bit. As I'm approaching, instead of a random security guard, I think I would be the same guy that I was before. And there's a reason for this, which I will get into later. But first, I walk up to the guys and I say, excuse me, sirs. It seems like, we saw somebody try to steal your goods. These are yours, yes? And I hand them the plans.
They take a look at it and they're like, Oh gods. Jimmy, how'd you get this? I thought that you were over patrolling in the tasting room. These were in our lockers.
Oh, well, my relief came just for a little bit so I could use the bathroom. And I thought I would stop by the employees only section just to pick something up on my way back. And I noticed they were going through your stuff and I just couldn't let that happen.
Wait, who was going through our stuff?
Oh, there was a warforged about this short. He tried to run off with your plans that you have there.
Oh, I can't believe this. I thought this was safe. Who was that security guard? What, Doc? We gotta report him. They let someone go in there. I can't believe this.
Well, maybe perhaps not go too harshly on Doc. From what I understand, he was doing the best that he could.
Well, thank you so much, Jimmy. Like, I know you're a volunteer, but honestly, they should give you some kind of pay because this is major. This is our life's work here. And so, yeah, they're getting ready to go and take off. Don't know where.
All right. Well, I'm just glad to help out, and I'm glad that your machine actually started to work there. I got a sample, and it was fantastic. I think you'll go places.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We've been working on this for a long time. Everyone at Moondollar is really excited to get it started and show it off. We're gonna be starting our base of operations over at Nicomoy. We've had a couple brick and mortar stores there, but we're really excited to take this on the road.
Oh, I'm sure you'll be successful. It was fantastic. Thank you for the tasting, and I'll see you around.
Okay. And with that, we will switch to Errol. So Errol, what are you doing right now?
That was a great idea, Vincent, but I wish you had told me.
Oh, no.
Things are going to get very interesting here in a second. So I have no idea what's occurring out there, but I am looking for Jimmy. So I was going to use and this is going to be a bit of a change here. I've been using heart a lot, but one of my other abilities or attributes, I guess, is blood, was defending the vulnerable from exploitation. In this case, I would be trying to defend Jimmy from being his image being exploited by Vincent.
Oh no.
This is going to be interesting. This is going to be so interesting.
I'm using that attribute to try and find Jimmy and try and keep him from, or allow him to meet up with Doc.
Okay.
Or actually, I would just like to talk to him, apprehend him, and talk to him first.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to draw. Oh, I got death.
Oh no.
There is no way.
Oh, no.
There is no way.
Hold on.
That is great.
Can you see it?
Show me that card. Oh my god, it is death.
It wasn't inverted
Beautiful.
either.
Oh no.
But I have so many major arcana in this batch.
Okay, so death. It's okay. Maybe. So death represents endings and beginnings. So perhaps we can consider this the death of one reputation and the beginning of another. So, Errol, you are able to find Jimmy. He is patrolling in the tasting room. And when you enter the tasting room, you see this wide, sprawling area filled with tables and benches and chairs. It has a long arched ceiling, and there are vendors going around and offering samples to people who are seated. It's kind of like if you go out to dim sum and like the waiters come to you with these carts of food and you can pick which ones you want to try. And so there's also a kitchen at the far end of the room where you can see people making the foods or the drinks that they are giving out to sample. And so you're looking around and you see Jimmy Flowers, who is currently just standing in the corner, you know, observing, making sure nothing weird or bad is going on. Definitely making sure there aren't any food fights. But yeah, you approach him and he notices you walking up and he's like, "Oh, hey, how can I help you?"
Yes, Jimmy. Look, I'm good friends with Doc. I was looking to try and get in with a security gig here. So I had some conversations with him. Well, it turns out I believe that someone has been posing as you, and
in the middle of this, you see Doc coming with a bunch of other bigger, burlier volunteer security. And Doc points and says, "There he is, get him!" And they all run over and just start like tackling Jimmy.
Everything I touch turns to ash.
Doc comes up to you, Errol, and says, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you found him exactly where he was posted. I thought for sure he would have run away or something. Like, I would never have thought to check here. Like, fantastic job keeping him busy, Thomas. Like, oh man, we definitely got to hire you for next year's convention."
You know, something told me he was here, and I just, I followed my detective instinct.
Well, that's awesome. Go ahead and go to Kara at the information desk. I'll make sure that she gives you a particular treat or something nice. You deserve something for your efforts.
I appreciate that, Doc. Though I would like to say, I believe there is someone who's going around impersonating people here at this convention. So I would suggest you please interrogate him before you take any serious actions. I don't know that this is the exact situation you thought it was.
Really?
There's some shady dealings going on. I heard that there was a dragonkin who was sabotaging some of the people here's inventions and things. So just maybe wait until, like, maybe put him in a questioning area or something and hold him until everything gets straightened out.
Wow. this is crazy. Like I said, I've been working here for 5 years and I've never heard of anything like this. Wow. Like, Errol, I know that we just met, but I don't know. Like, I would really love to get coffee with you sometime. You sound awesome.
Doc, you're a great guy. But yeah, again, if you talk to Tipsy and Tapsy, the keg tinkers, I think they might have more information on what's going on.
Okay. Yeah. I think their talk is probably finishing up right now. I'll go and make sure to talk to them beforehand. And then you can see the other like volunteers, like the really burly volunteers, just like lifting Jimmy up and like carrying him by the arms, and his legs are just swinging in the air. And he's like, I don't know what's going on, you guys. Please let me down. And then they just go and march out of the tasting room. And then Doc follows them soon after.
Well, that was rough. I feel bad for Jimmy, but I guess I'm gonna. Is the information booth on the way back to the area where my friends are?
No, the information booth would be at the very front end of the building. You guys are currently like closer to the back, or like the middle of it.
Okay, well, I will meet up with them, and if I have time, maybe I'll look into that later.
Okay. So, I will say you guys all meet up in the speaker's room, seeing as how Errol knew you two would be there. Go for it.
Vincent, I did my best to try and protect Jimmy, but I think things might have gotten out of hand a little bit. I did ask them to question him and look into details further before they take any rash actions against him, but they did apprehend him in a very fierce manner.
What do you mean? I mean, I saved his reputation. I dressed up as him, and I showed them that their plans were being stolen. So, like, oh wait, they got the real. Oh.
If that...
I would like to make a declaration.
Yes, please make a declaration.
I would like to make a declaration so that when I went into the employees only section and came back out, Doc did not recognize who the person was that went in or out.
Interesting. Okay, and which trait are you using for this?
My hate of injustice, including the ones that I impose on other people.
Please draw your card.
All right. Mine is the Knight of Swords reversed.
Okay, so the Knight is impetuousness, movement, and self-discovery, and Swords is air and intellect, and it's reversed. So I will say that Doc was so engrossed in the conversation that he was having with Errol that he ended up just not even saying hi to you when you said hi. Like, he was just so engrossed and enamored with Errol. And so
Awesome.
You don't know what that's going to do, but it has happened. You have that memory. And Errol, you have that memory too.
Oh, gosh. You guys, I feel like we're like branching alternate realities at this point.
Could very well
We're
be.
breaking time.
But the reality is that we've pretty much caught at least 2 of the people who are involved in this. Well, actually, perhaps 3, because, you know, that Warforged, the one who was going to procure the documents, the Dragonborn who sabotaged things, I made sure he'll never want to sabotage anything else again. And there's also this Ravenwood, who I guess we haven't found yet, but once we do, we have enough to, I guess, incriminate her. Now, one thing that this Dragonborn told me is he doesn't actually know who he's working with. He didn't get any names or anything. So we don't know who else might be there besides these 3.
All right, well,
I suppose that is definitely a problem, but at least we got the ones that we have.
now the question I have is, do we need to check the Hestia's Bestia's booth before we confront this Dr. Ravenwood?
Maybe. We'll see if anything happened there, I suppose. Anything of interest?
Yeah, I think we should go at least look into it.
That sounds like a plan.
Okay. So you make your way back to the Grand Exhibit Hall, and it is pretty easy to find the Hestia's Bestia's booth because it is one of the biggest and brightest. It is just decked out in so many colors, and you can see standing there a woman that looks to be about 40 years old. She's wearing dark coveralls with a dark pink undershirt and pink boots. And her dirty blonde hair is in a messy bun, and her green eyes are darting nervously around the crowd as people come up and talk to her. She's obviously very nervous and out of her element, but she seems to be the only one at the booth right now.
Does she seem familiar?
I don't think any of you would recognize her.
Pardon me, madam. I'm Thomas Underhill. I was just curious. We've heard reports of people being impersonated and certain machinery being sabotaged, and we were just curious if anybody had been giving you any trouble or if you'd seen any shady characters within your the area of your booth recently.
Oh, I mean, honestly, it's kind of hard to tell. And you can see she starts glancing around. She's not making eye contact with you. She just says, I mean, people have really just been asking me questions, which is, I don't know. I'm not a pro here. I came here in place of a friend because she got busy and now I don't know. I mean, I've just been answering people's questions the best I can.
And you're the only one here? You're the only one at this exhibit for the entire day, or did the friend get busy and then leave?
Nah, someone got busy and left. I was here with an actual representative from Hestia's Bestia's. I'm just a guest who is, I mean, technically my friend was the guest, but she asked me to come here instead.
So, so she was the guest. She came here with you. So how long ago did she leave, and what did she say she was going to do?
She said she had to go and talk to somebody. She seemed kind of weirded out by it, I guess, but said that some kind of doctor had asked to talk with her. So they went somewhere, and I've been here for 10 minutes so far, and I really want her to be back because this is really unnerving. There are a lot of people.
So 10 minutes ago. You know
which way they went?
Yeah, 10 minutes ago, she ended up going that way, and she points back towards the foyer. And she said, there are probably some benches or something over there. If you see her, her name is Krista Bestia. Yeah.
And this doctor, did this name Dr. Ravenwood sound familiar?
Yeah, I think it was someone named Ravenwood.
All right, well, yep. Well, I've heard of this Dr. Ravenwood. Apparently she deals in some unusual sweets.
Meg, you wouldn't be Atlanta Divino, would you?
Oh, no, that's the friend I'm here in place of. She got busy with something, and I'm Kin Corbin.
Oh, it was very nice to meet you.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really get your names. You guys aren't really asking questions about the product. That's more of the questions I was getting from other people.
Well, consider it a break, I guess. Oh, never mind.
What kind of flavors do you have here?
Oh, I mean, we're really showcasing our sour cream and onion flavor right now. It's been a big hit in particular cities, so we're trying to branch out. And you can see that she's trying to remember a script that she's been told in her head.
Oh yeah, I heard that it was so addictive that people couldn't stop eating it no matter how salty or how unhealthy it was, right?
She's thinking. She says, it is a really good flavor that people love. Addictive is a strong term. Oh, and not true, I think. Yeah.
You are doing an excellent job. I will take a bag of these sour cream and onion chips. You sold me on this.
Could I have a sample, perhaps?
Yeah, so she'll turn and out of a chest, she'll grab 3 bags of Hestia's Bestia's sour cream and onion potato chips and hand them to you.
I would like to
love
try
this
them
flavor.
and see like I think I've tried it actually before in like a dungeon basically.
Yeah, so that
the
was
same?
it was in its concentrated form. When it's actually on the potato chip itself, it's even better. It's like the ratio to crisp and flavor is perfect. It is definitely addictive.
Well, when the representative gets back, we can talk about putting in a mass order for Denkin. Of course, charged to the mayor's account.
Okay. Who's the mayor of Dangan?
Oh boy, I feel like this is something that my character would know, but I don't as a player. So my insert the name of the mayor of Denkin here.
No worries. Player makes a declaration to remember the name. GM has to go and look it up.
Hey, if we could do that.
We'll
Yeah,
basically it's a huge
listeners-
IOU.
Yeah, listeners, we do have a wiki page, so go to Denkin and look up the name of the mayor if you want to see what exactly Avarice said.
If you don't know how to spell Dangan, you can just go to Charmed, I'm Sure, or New Sheriff in Town. Those are 2 episodes that feature Dangan Town.
Yeah.
Okay, so it seems like the Hestia's Bestia's booth may have been compromised. What do you guys want to do?
Yeah, guys, we definitely need to check on this person because if Dr. Ravenwood's meeting with them, it might be no good. Something is afoot.
Yeah, perhaps. And if we can't find him, well, we still got the Fate Altering potions.
We should make haste then.
All right, so we head that way.
Okay. So you go and look, and you do in fact see 2 people on a bench. One looks to be a very petite dark elf, and the other one is an older halfling. Definitely has pudgier features, as though they've been eating for a lot of their life. But they have very warm features as well. Their eyes are brown like honey. Their skin is like perfectly toasted marshmallows, and their hair is a mix of black and white like cookies and cream. And this halfling woman is wearing a pantsuit. The two, the halfling and the elf, look like they're talking very animatedly, having a good time.
Yeah, my character hates her already.
Oh no.
Embodies every single thing that Avarice hates.
I'm gonna walk right up to Dr. Ravenwood, the halfling, and I'm going to. Oh gosh, I didn't think this out.
So what's our plan before we go in?
Good idea. Planning, that's a novel idea. Let's think about this.
Actually, there is something I would like to do. I would like to make a declaration.
Okay.
Oh no, what for?
It's first of all, it's blood because I hate sweets and like children like good magic vibes.
Oh my gosh.
And I would like, oh my god, I would like to make something really, really embarrassing happen to this Dr. Ravenwood.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
It can be
So
the GM's
mean.
choice, but I want it to be absolutely humiliating.
Okay, draw your card.
I drew the lovers upside down.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I just need a minute.
That's so mean. He didn't even do anything yet.
Okay. Lovers, if it wasn't obvious, represents love, union, and bonds. There's very clearly some bonding going on right now. But you feel that boof boof in your chest and that slight pulse go out from you. And the vibe between these 2 women completely changes. You can see that maybe Dr. Ravenwood is getting like a little too animated and starts to become like more open and vulnerable than one theoretically should during a new social interaction. Potentially, this is a result of the hermit being drawn before that influenced the entire vibe of this room. And the elf, presumably Krista, is getting more and more off-put and eventually just gets up very hurriedly and shakes their head and basically says goodbye and walks away. And you can see Dr. Ravenwood just kind of like sitting there. You can see that like she's like, what did I do wrong? I was, and you can hear her muttering like, I hadn't shared that with anyone, and she just left.
Guys, I've got to speak to her for a second. I'm gonna approach Dr. Ravenwood, and I'm gonna walk up to her and I'm gonna say, Dr. Ravenwood, would you like some licorice? And I'll pull out the cigarette case with licorice candies.
She looks up at you, just this total stranger, like she's snapping out of some kind of like inner spiral. And she looks at the licorice, she picks it up, gives it a sniff, and bites into it. And she says, this is really well-made licorice. Where did you procure this?
It was my mother's favorite.
Oh, she has very good taste. And she starts to eat it. This is my favorite too. So I wonder if this is a more popular brand than I realized.
My name is Errol Corvidbow, and I have a suspicion that you might be my mother. And I will pull a picture, hand-drawn portrait of me and my parents from when I was very young, and I will hand it to her.
She is in shock. She is just looking at you, and you can see her mouth but not say Corvidbow. And she takes the photo and draws a finger across your face and then across your father's face. And she says, Errol?
That's me.
And speechless, she just gets up very slowly and puts a hand on your cheek. Do you move away?
This is a weird day. I came here to investigate Consent Creameries sabotaging other companies' inventions and things, and it's led us directly to you.
She pulls her hand away and takes a step back. She bumps into the bench behind her. She says, you know about Consent Creamery?
I do. I don't want you to get in trouble. I've just met you. I would like to make a declaration.
Okay. What would you like to do, Errol?
I would like to make it so that no one knows that Dr. Ravenwood was behind the whole plot, except for me.
Whoa.
Dang.
And the trait is?
So for this one, it would be reconnecting families, including hopefully my own. Because if she goes to jail, I will never get to know my mom.
Okay. Go ahead and pull
I'm so
your
nervous
card.
about this one. So, just to clarify.
Yes.
I don't want her to get in trouble. So I would like to make it so that people don't remember, but I don't want her to forget the interaction with me, if that's at all possible.
I see. So you're primarily trying to change the knowledge around Consent Creamery and her involvement with that.
Right, because I'm trying to maintain the connection so that I don't want her to forget that she met me.
Yeah. Well, definitely that won't happen because this is coming from your desire for family connection.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Actually, could I also make a declaration to help with that?
Yes, you can.
And maybe make it so that she actually never, they still met in the same way, but through entirely different circumstances, that she was never involved in this whole nefarious plot in the first place.
That's a good one.
Okay, that's going to be difficult if you draw a minor arcana, just because this would influence a lot in the past. Errol, I'll have you draw first.
Okay.
And then Ava, you'll draw. Let me know what trait you're pulling from. And then we'll resolve it.
I'm nervous about this one.
Yes. God.
This is massive.
I got the 9 of Pentacles upside down.
Interesting. And Ava?
So first of all, I'm pulling from heart, and I love having allies.
Okay.
And making deals.
Okay.
I would like to make a deal with Errol. This one. So yeah, do you want to know what I got?
I do.
Temperance upright.
That is incredible. So, remind me again the number that you drew. Or I should say, sorry. Errol, tell me again which card you drew.
The 9 of Pentacles.
9 of Pentacles.
Upside down.
Okay, so 9 represents fruition, compromise, and spirituality. Pentacles represents earth, money, and achievements. And then Temperance represents balance and healing. So here's what happens. None of you know what has happened in the past. She did not tell you what had happened in her past to lead her to leaving you. At least, and so the story of that is not known to you. There is a new story for her. And the immediate consequences of your declarations is that you see a name tag on her blazer jacket. It had said Consent Creamery's consultant, Dr. Laurel Ravenwood. And the Consent Creamery is gone. It just says consultant. Other than that, you don't entirely know what happened.
Dr. Ravenwood, I know this is sudden, and I don't know why we haven't had a relationship or what led you to leave our home, but I'm working with the fire-breathing kittens. You can find me at the guild hall. Maybe we can have lunch sometime. I would love to get to know you.
She looks like she's coming a little bit out of a daze, but when you say that, she snaps back and says, Oh yes, I believe I've heard of the Fire-Breathing Kittens Guild. When I visited Nicomoy. Yes, there is so much to tell you, but now is not the time, and honestly, after being so vulnerable with whom I thought was a potentially good friend earlier, I want to trend a little more softly on what I share. But know, Errol, that I never meant to leave you. I never did.
Do you know what happened to my father?
Unfortunately not. I left you in his care. So it's rather strange to find out that something has happened to him and you don't know. But
Rowena Goodwin took me in.
Rowena? Oh, that's excellent. You probably grew up very well in her care.
She taught me to survive.
Well, it clearly was enough. I am so happy to see you and get to know you. It's been so long.
I would love to have lunch with you sometime.
Yes. I'll be in Nicomoy in a few weeks' time. Let's plan to meet then. And she pulls out a business card and she hands it to you and says, Here's my sending number, my personal sending number. Give me a call anytime.
I will. And I will walk back to my friends.
Vincent is eating some of the sour cream and onion chips.
Are they good?
Oh, these are pretty good. I mean, it was a lot better than I expected. Oh, you all right? You seem a little down there.
It's a long story. So what do we do now?
Well, Ava's actually gonna look at Errol for a second and say, well, I might have done a bit of fate weaving myself. And then she kind of like leans down and whispers in his ear, I made sure she's innocent now. for real.
That means a lot. I never got to know my mom, so I really didn't want her getting in any trouble. I don't know what to do now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think we just left off literally at Errol coming back to his friends, and then Ava was just saying like, oh, like that means a lot to me, I think. And then I think that's where you dropped off. And then he was about to say like, what should we do now? And like I was about to do some RP with Errol. Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what to do now.
Well, there is a way that I suppose you can keep on getting what you want and also do me a favor. We can make a deal, but we can talk about that later after we've apprehended the rest of the rest of them. That sound good, Errol?
Sure. I guess we should speak to security about this Humboldt.
Yeah, perhaps. I think Humboldt might have been the Warforged, though.
I do have a connection there. Maybe we should speak to Doc.
Yeah. Well, that works. And then, I don't know where that green dragonborn went, but I think we can find him. If not now, I'll just find him afterwards. Well, know what he looks like.
We do have his name.
Yeah, we have his name. That is true.
All right, so I guess we'll go back to see Doc and see what's up there.
Okay, so Doc is at the information desk talking to Jimmy Flowers right now. And you can hear Doc saying to Jimmy, look, something is clearly going on here and you're the only connection we have. So anything you tell us is going to be interesting. He's very clearly trying to be like intimidating and like, this hotshot investigator, And he like pulls out like a taffy tray and is like, here, I'll give you a taffy treat if you tell us the truth. And Jimmy is just like, I don't know, man. I was just doing my job. What do you want from me?
Hey, Doc.
Oh, yeah. What's up, Errol?
I see you're doing an excellent job speaking to Jimmy here. I was curious, did y'all take that Humboldt, the Warforged? Is he in like a medical tent or do you know what happened to him?
Yeah, so we actually ended up getting the keg tinkers to help us because I went and questioned them like you said. And they spoke very highly of Jimmy. And so we asked them to help us out with the Warforged. They got them back up and running, which was awesome. And I don't know what happened, but they just started talking about what they were there to do. And they're just like, yeah, we're here to steal trade secrets. Weird, right? Like, that's exactly what you said when we first met, and I didn't believe you.
Oh, it's perfectly fine. I didn't know that they were up to all that anyway. One of my other friends sussed that out.
Yeah, well, honestly, we didn't really get much information from them, and honestly, I think Jimmy's telling the truth. Something was going on, but apparently there's been an emergency protocol initiated or something, and whoever else was in this scheme is gone.
Oh, so you apprehended the Dragonkin as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were, they seemed to be crying in the speaker room for some reason.
You see Avarice just smirk at that. She literally just goes like...
So yeah, like they're the only ones we've found. They're the only ones they knew of, but apparently it was the Warforged job where if anything bad happened, then they were to alert people with a signal, and that's why they shut down. It was part of the protocol essentially. But everyone else who was part of the Consent Creamery's information arm, and you can tell that's like something that he was recently told. He's like, anyone else who was part of that, they've gone now.
Well, Fate Weaver question.
Mm-hmm.
So like because I altered like the course of time that Raven was never part of this. Basically, did the Dragonborn tell me any other name besides Ravenwood, or is that Like, is the name, did he just never mention Raven, anyone after Humboldt at all?
Yeah, he never mentioned anyone after Humboldt. Yeah.
So it was just the two of them that he knew about, at least.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Go on, Errol. I think you wanted to say something.
Oh, Jimmy, I needed to come clean with you, man. I've been undercover this whole time. I'm not actually Thomas Underwood. That's my alias. I'm Errol Corvidbow, and I work with the fire-breathing kittens. We've been undercover trying to investigate this whole situation.
Dog is just like, oh my God. And Jimmy is just like, who are the fire-breathing kittens? But Doc is just like, you guys are awesome. I don't think you guys have ever been up in like Jezik before. So like, that's super cool that you're here.
Well, you can call that a first.
I think you've done an excellent job here, Doc, and I'm going to recommend you to our guild hall as a new recruit.
He just lights up and he's like, oh, you really, am I going to see you there? I mean,
I'm in the guild hall a lot, so yes.
Oh, well, that's awesome. That's so cool. And he's just like, Jimmy, check it out. And Jimmy's like, dude, you've been questioning me. Why would I be happy for you?
All right, is there anything we need to wrap up, guys? I don't know what else we need to accomplish before we leave.
Yes, 2 things. Oh, yeah.
3.
Go ahead. Oh, after me? Okay. First of all, I know that, like, someone that I knew, my mentor, Edmir, was supposed to be here, so I want to just find him and make sure that he hasn't gotten into any trouble. And then, yes, the thing with Errol is the second thing.
And I would like to make a declaration.
For this
What
immediate
I would like...
thing? Okay, sorry, go for it.
It's just... I would like to make a declaration to make it so that the security guards, Doc and... I forget his name.
Jimmy?
Jimmy. Make it so that both of them somehow, some way, catch the remaining culprits. Because I do not like injustice.
Okay, go ahead and draw your fate card.
All right, that is the Hanged Man in reverse.
A major arcana representing letting go and suspension. So I'm going to say this is because there's been so much going on right now and there's no reasonable way that they would have been able to catch the culprits before they knew that it was real. So before this moment, that is something that will affect the future. So you don't know the consequences of your declaration, but you do know that they will catch the other Consent Creamery information spies.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. And then Ava, you wanted to find Edmir So?
Yes. I wanted to find the professor.
So going around the convention center, you would find him in the poster room. So this hall is very large, but it lacks windows and high ceilings, so it feels a lot more claustrophobic than any of the other rooms in the convention center. And you can see that there are a lot of stylish posters around and people dressed very smartly, talking very politely and presenting. It's a lot more professional than the exhibition hall. And you can see just, wandering around with hands clasped behind his back, you see Professor Edmir So. He is in one of his finest dress robes and just walking around with a smile on his face. His demeanor is very friendly.
Very nice. Oh, yeah. Also, I don't want him to see Malum or that I have Malum or the favor of another dragon. So I'm going to actually say, Errol, can you please be a dear and just look after this here dragon for a bit? Oh, yeah, and hold this pyramid and make sure nothing happens with it.
A pyramid?
It's tiny. It's like this big. It's just little
I'll
symbol.
Yeah, I'll hold it, and I will nervously hold my arm out for the dragon and flinch when it steps on me.
He doesn't. Actually, he's just very chill. He's a bit curious. Do you have anything shiny on you, like any jewelry or anything?
I wear rings on my fingers, and I have a necklace.
Oh, he's definitely gonna go for the rings on your fingers. Yep.
I mean,
but like if he sees that you like you don't want him to eat them, he will pull back, but still be like tempted.
it's not so much that I am concerned about your particular dragon. I just have bad memories.
Yeah, but like other than that, he's like completely like he's just like imagine like a little cat or a parrot just like trying to gnaw at something that they're interested in, but like not. If they see that they don't like it, they just pull back. So, okay. Errol is doing a bit of facing his fears. And yeah, I'll go find Professor So and like, well, howdy, Professor.
He turns around and he says, "Oh, Ava, dear girl, I was not expecting to see you here."
Yeah, I mean, I heard that you were coming here and there was something to investigate, some consent, creamery stuff going on. Now, I know you got that on your farm. Do you know anything about it? Like anything about their, like, practices or anything? She's looking at him dead in the eye. She says this.
His eyes kind of like crinkle up into a smile, and he says, "Ah, dear girl, I simply help make some of their products from time to time. They're a large corporation. They don't deal with professors like me, but I can't imagine they're up to no good." He's got a little bit of a twinkle in his eye.
Well, I mean, yeah, if there's anything you can do about it, you might want to alert the university to some practice they've been doing. Theft of intellectual property and deliberate sabotage.
I assume you have proof of some sort.
Oh. Well, we gave the documents back, right?
Yep.
Can I make a declaration to like through Penny telepathically communicate everything that has happened?
Yes, go ahead.
I drew the High Priestess.
High
Upright.
Priestess. And what was the trait you wanted to do?
Desire to control my own life and break free from those more powerful than me, and to have influence on others.
All right. The High Priestess represents intuition and higher wisdom. So not only does the entirety of what happened get translated, but all of your personal feelings and thoughts about what's occurred also get through to the professor. And so we can chat a little bit later about what that actually means in context if you would like. But for now, you see that Professor Edamir So just smiles even more, very pleasantly in, an old man kind of way, and says, "Ah, I knew there was talent in you."
Mm-hmm. And she kind of like smiles softly and says, "Well, I mean, of course." If there wasn't, then I wouldn't have this, would I? And then she kind of like pulls out her sword part of the way, the one that he gave to her.
Mm-hmm. He inclines his head and says, "Well, keep taking care of dear Penny for me, will you?" And he goes off to peruse other posters.
Nice. Yes, I'll head back to the group.
Perfect. And what is the last thing you guys would like to do before we wrap up?
Oh yeah, chat with Errol.
So you wanted something from me.
Right. So since I did you a favor, and I'm thinking of doing you perhaps another one if you would like, I would like you to do me a favor at some point.
An unspoken favor, or do you have something in mind?
Right now I don't. Oh, yes. So, every now and then I have to go back to my home plane, to hell, or I'm sent there, sometimes not really wanting to go there. But when I do, can you go to my house in Dengan and make sure no one gets lost in there?
Sure. I just gotta watch the door, or am I house sitting?
Nah, just go. Just if you are just to go in there, like maybe if you get a message from Penny that I'm calling upon you, that you just go there and then keep on going. I guess once every 2 weeks or so, and check in, because sometimes people will get lost in there. It's a bit bigger than it looks like.
Okay. Yeah, I could do that. I was a little worried that you were gonna want my soul.
I guess I'll leave it out of the contract for now, because you seem like a pretty good person and aren't going to do anything to go to hell. But the thing is, if you start committing crimes, you're going to go to my plane of hell. So yeah, just stay out of trouble. Don't find trouble, and you won't have to worry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, the part that keep on giving you favors. What if your mother was to work somewhere near Nikamui? So that you could see her more often.
I think I'm okay for now. I want to take it slow and because she has been out of my life for a long time, and I don't want to get too close before I know where our situation is, you know?
Yeah, understandable.
But if I think I want to, then I'll talk to you about it.
Yeah, sounds good, because I'm looking for a deputy. She could fit. But yeah, let me know. And we have a deal. She kind of like holds out her hand and smiles.
Sure. I'll shake her hand nervously.
And with that, with the bright Banilla sun shining through the glass walls of the Banilla Convention Center, all three of you have succeeded in some respect of finding the dastardly Consent Creamery spies. Thank you guys for playing with us tonight. This has been great. Yeah, let's say goodbye to our friends. Today we've had joining us Errol.
I can't believe I almost arrested my mother.
Vincent.
I am glad that I was somehow able to save their reputation.
And Ava.
Yeah, these fire-breathing kittens are pretty cool, especially Vincent and Errol. Now I got someone to clean up when I can't around Dengen.
Thanks everyone for listening. We'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.
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 Have you heard of Carefree Highway Revisited? This is a show that examines and celebrates the work of Gordon Lightfoot, Canada's greatest troubadour, song by song, with special guests. Gordon Lightfoot is one of the greatest folk rock artists of all time, and now there's a podcast celebrating and discussing his work, song by song. It's called Carefree Highway Revisited, and every episode, your host, Mike Messner, will examine one of Gordon's songs with the help of a special guest. So if that's your cup of tea, give them a listen and a follow. They'll see you on the Carefree Highway. Check out Carefree Highway Revisited, a podcast.